The Buddha once said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." In a world that moves quickly and speaks loudly, silence is often overlooked. We've grown used to sharing everything, our joys, our struggles, even our still-forming thoughts, with just a few taps or words. But wisdom does not always announce itself. It listens, it observes, it waits. Not everything we feel needs to be spoken. Not every moment needs to be shown. There is strength in holding something quietly, not in secrecy, but in stillness. Some truths become clearer in silence. Some peace is only found in what we choose not to say. This quiet space, where mindfulness meets restraint, is where today's reflection begins. Inspired by Buddhist teachings, we'll explore 6 things that are best kept private, not to hide, but to honor. These are gentle boundaries that protect your energy, preserve your peace, and deepen your relationship with yourself and the world. As you listen, let the noise settle. Let this be a reminder that silence is not empty. It is full of awareness, care, and quiet power. 1. Your wealth and possessions. In today's world, success is often worn on the outside. A new home, a luxury car, a beautiful vacation. It's easy to share, even easier to compare. But true contentment doesn't need to be displayed. We are taught to celebrate our wins, and there's nothing wrong with feeling proud of what you've built. Yet, when we constantly share our material gains, even with good intentions, we open the door to something subtle but harmful: comparison, envy, and ego. Not everyone will rejoice in your abundance. Some will compare it to their own struggles. Others may silently compete. And often, we ourselves begin to attach our worth to what we own rather than who we are. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. This includes attachment to wealth, to status, to the need for others to recognize what we have. There is quiet strength in keeping some things private. You don't need to prove your success. Let your inner peace speak louder than possessions. Let your values, your kindness, and your stillness be the true signs of what you've earned. Real success is not what the world sees, but what you feel when the world is quiet. When you live with purpose and peace, there is no urgency to display. You simply live, grateful, humble, grounded. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. The Buddha. So celebrate your journey, not your belongings. Share your joy, not to impress, but to uplift. And remember, the most beautiful things in life are often the ones we keep close, not because they are hidden, but because they are whole. Choose simplicity over show, depth over display. Let your success be quiet, and let your spirit be rich. 2. Your inner struggles. There are moments in life when the weight we carry feels too heavy to hold alone. In those moments, it's natural to want to be seen, to be understood, to speak our fears, our sadness, our inner wounds. But not everyone who listens is truly listening, and not everyone who seems kind has a kind heart. When we share our struggles too easily, too quickly, we may end up placing fragile parts of ourselves into hands that cannot hold them. Some will judge, some will forget. Some will carry your words away, not with care, but with carelessness. The Buddha taught us the importance of mindfulness, not just in our actions, but in our relationships. Discernment is a form of compassion for yourself. It's not wrong to speak of your pain. Healing often begins there, but wisdom is knowing when, how, and with whom to speak. Ask yourself, has this person earned my trust? Have they shown me presence, patience, and understanding? If the answer is unclear, Allow your silence to protect you. Your vulnerabilities are not flaws. They are tender, human truths. They deserve to be held gently by those who have earned the right to witness them. A quiet heart knows this. What is shared too freely may be misunderstood, but what is held too tightly may never heal. The path is balance. There will be people who hold space for you, not to fix, not to speak, but to simply be there without judgment. When you find them, speak freely. Until then, protect what is sacred. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. The Buddha. Treat your inner world with that same respect. Do not hand your unhealed places to those who cannot offer peace in return. Let silence be your shield until trust reveals itself. Only then, open, slowly, gently, fully. 3. The regrets you carry. Regret is a quiet shadow that follows many of us. The things we wish we hadn't done, the words we wish we could take back, the paths we didn't choose. It's human to feel this way, but dwelling in the past does not change it. The Buddha taught, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. When we speak of our regrets too often, or carry them too openly, they can become heavier. They shape how we see ourselves. They cloud the present. Sometimes in our need to express or explain, we unintentionally keep our wounds alive. There's a difference between reflection and rumination. One brings wisdom, the other brings suffering. Not all regrets need to be shared. Some are meant to be understood silently, not hidden out of shame, but held with care until they transform into insight. Ask yourself, am I sharing this to grow, or am I reliving what no longer serves me? Speak of your past only when it helps bring light to yourself or to someone else. Let your lessons rise above the pain that once taught them. Healing does not always require telling the story. Sometimes it simply asks you to stop repeating it. Release what was. Breathe into what is. You are not the same person who made those choices. You are the one who has lived through them, learned from them, and kept going. That is strength. That is grace. Let your silence be a soft form of forgiveness, not forgetting, but choosing peace. Each morning we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. The Buddha. So carry your wisdom forward, not your regret. 4. Your personal struggles with others. Every relationship, whether with a friend, partner, or family member, carries moments of tension. Misunderstandings arise, words are misheard, feelings are hurt. It's a natural part of human connection. In these moments, it can feel comforting to share our frustration with someone else. We want to be heard. We want someone to say, "You're right. They were wrong." But in seeking that validation, we often open the door to something else: judgment, bias, and unnecessary noise. The Buddha taught, speak only when your words are more beautiful than silence. When we speak carelessly about those we're in conflict with, especially to others outside the situation, we risk damaging not just one relationship, but many. We create space for gossip, for opinions that weren't invited, for tension that may linger long after the conflict has passed. Often, the person we're upset with is someone we love. But words spoken in anger or shared out of context can shape how others see them, unfairly and permanently. Instead of broadcasting your personal struggles, choose silence when it brings more peace. Choose discretion when it protects what still matters. This doesn't mean holding everything inside, but it means being wise about who you speak to, why you speak, and what you're hoping to find in that sharing. Seek counsel only from those who hold space with compassion, not judgment, from those who reflect peace, not fuel fire. Buddhist practice invites us to look inward before we speak outward, to pause, breathe, and ask, is this helpful? Is this kind? Is this necessary? There is great strength in working through your struggles quietly, mindfully, not to suppress them, but to protect what is still sacred. Sometimes, the most loving thing we can do is hold space for healing rather than sharing the wound. Let your words be few, and let your presence speak more loudly. In conflict, be still. In anger, be aware. In struggle, be soft. And remember, peace begins within, not in the telling, but in the understanding. 5. Your goals and aspirations. Each of us carries quiet dreams, the kind that live deep within, nurtured by hope and vision. Whether it's starting a new business, writing a book, changing careers, or simply living a life that feels more aligned with who we are. These plans are sacred. And yet in our eagerness and excitement, we often speak of them too soon. There is a quiet truth in Buddhist wisdom. What is not yet ripe must be protected. The Buddha taught that attachment to the future, to outcomes not yet born, can lead to unnecessary suffering. When we dwell too much on what we hope will come, we place ourselves under the weight of expectation. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You water it, tend to it, and wait for the sun to nourish it. But what if every day you dig it up to show others what's growing? The roots weaken. The process is disrupted. The plant may never grow as it was meant to. Your plans are just like that seed. They need protection, stillness, silence. Let's say you've decided to begin a creative project, maybe launching a wellness brand rooted in mindfulness. You feel inspired and committed. But the moment you begin to share it widely, something changes. Friends offer advice. Family members express concern. Strangers suggest shortcuts. Some of the feedback may be helpful, but much of it is noise. Even well-meaning voices can cloud your clarity. Suddenly, what was once a quiet path becomes loud and tangled. You begin to question your choices. You second-guess your direction. Doubt takes root, not because you lacked ability, but because you let too many voices into your sacred space of becoming. Buddhism teaches us to move with awareness, not for praise, not for approval, but for the peace that comes from alignment. When we share prematurely, we risk inviting distraction, comparison, and pressure that doesn't serve the work itself. There is great strength in moving quietly. Think of those whose success arrived not with announcement, but with quiet consistency. They showed up each day, put in the work, and let the results unfold naturally. They didn't need to speak of their intentions. Their actions spoke louder than words ever could. This doesn't mean you must journey alone. Trusted mentors and supportive loved ones can offer guidance and encouragement. But the deeper truth is, your vision deserves your full attention, not the diluted energy that comes from overexposure. Keep your dreams where they are safest, close to your heart, rooted in mindful action. Imagine an artist who works quietly in their studio for months, not seeking validation, simply creating. When the artwork is finally revealed, it carries the weight of authenticity and devotion. It wasn't made for approval, it was made from purpose. That is the power of quiet work. Let your energy flow into building, not boasting. Let your focus remain on the path, not on the applause. Let your success arrive as a whisper, not a declaration. The Buddha once said, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, Even so, the wise are not affected by praise or blame. By holding your plans in silence, you give them space to grow strong. You protect them from premature judgment, from doubt, and from the ever-changing winds of opinion. Let the quiet be your companion. Let the work be your voice. And when the time is right, what you've built will shine. Not because it was loudly announced, but because it was deeply lived. 6. Your acts of kindness. In the quiet spaces of life where no one is watching, our truest intentions are revealed. Today, many good deeds are done beneath a spotlight, shared, posted, and praised. The world encourages recognition. It teaches us that if no one sees what we do, it may not matter. But this is not the way of true compassion. The Buddha once said, "A good deed brings joy to the heart, whether seen or unseen." This is the essence of pure kindness, not to be noticed, not to be praised, but to arise naturally from the depth of one's own compassion without a trace of ego. Imagine you are walking down a quiet street and see an elderly person struggling with their shopping bags. You pause, walk over and gently offer your help. They smile. Maybe they say thank you, maybe they don't. But something inside you softens, not because anyone else witnessed it, but because you did what felt right. That moment becomes complete in itself. No praise needed, no story to tell. That is real generosity. In Buddhist teaching, this form of giving is called dana, the practice of giving without attachment or expectation. It is not measured by how much we give, but by the purity of the heart behind it. When we give freely, without hope for recognition, we are not just helping others, we are freeing ourselves. But when kindness becomes a performance, it loses its quiet beauty. Consider the person who donates a large sum to charity and ensures it is publicly acknowledged. Their act may still help others, but if it is driven by a need for validation, the internal reward is weakened. External applause may feel good in the moment, but it fades quickly. The peace that comes from selfless giving, however, stays. We often forget that true acts of kindness rarely make headlines. They happen in whispers, in gestures, in silence. A mother waking early to prepare her children's meals. A friend who checks in when no one else remembers. A stranger who pays for someone's meal, then quietly walks away. These are offerings, not performances. They come from love, not from ego. And it's not just grand gestures. Even the smallest kindness, when done with sincerity, carries great weight. A smile, a moment of patience, a gentle word when someone is hurting. These things may seem simple, but they are seeds of peace planted in the world. When we release the need for acknowledgement, we step into deeper presence. The act becomes the reward. The giving becomes the joy. The Buddha reminds us that clinging even to our good image is a form of suffering. Letting go of the need to be seen allows our actions to remain pure. In that letting go, we find freedom. So the next time you feel the impulse to share a good deed, pause. Ask yourself, am I sharing this to inspire or to be admired? Am I giving from love or from the need to be seen? There is no shame in wanting to feel appreciated, but there is deeper peace in knowing your kindness doesn't need to be witnessed to matter. Give quietly, help gently, love without keeping score. Not every light shines for others to see. Some simply brighten the space within. As a flower does not pick and choose the bees that come, so should our kindness be. Open, free, and without condition. Let your good deeds be like that flower, effortless and pure. Do good, speak gently, and walk away without looking back. Because when kindness is real, it echoes whether or not anyone hears it. In a noisy world, silence is no longer just quiet. It's a form of wisdom, a place of refuge. When you learn to hold certain things within, you create space for clarity, stillness, and truth. Speak less, listen deeply, and protect the sacredness of your inner life. Let peace be your compass and intention your guide. May your words be few but full of meaning. Until we meet again, walk gently, live mindfully, and remember, your silence holds more power than you know.